Liminal spaces are often empty or abandoned that feel unsettling and eerie, but often come with a sense of comfort or nostalgia. With that in mind, here are the top 10 free liminal space Itchio games you don't know about. Liminal Gallery is a surreal exploration game where you turn pictures into reality. The main mechanic is taken from the game Viewfinder, where you take a picture and have to figure out the correct perspective to align it with the environment to progress. There are pre-placed pictures around the environment that can be picked up and rotated to give you a solution to reach the exit door. Eventually you gain access to a camera, allowing you to take your own pictures, which really makes you think about how each picture is framed in order to help you. Like, do you need to take a picture of stairs to climb higher, or maybe take a picture of something that stands out, as it might lead you to the exit door? I especially enjoyed figuring out levels that required layering multiple pictures together. If you like thinking outside the box, then I recommend Liminal Gallery. The Floor is Breathing is a liminal space horror game where you play through multiple perspectives as you try to understand the deaths of 4 murdered people. The game is set in mostly a small home and plays a lot like Hideo Kojima's PT, where the house changes around you as you progress. Each day you're given a task list of things to do, which are usually the same every day, but the house and story changes based on which murdered person's backstory you're learning about. Through both notes and in-game events, you learn more about the murdered people and how they're haunting you, placing you in the mental state of our playable murderer. The visuals and sound design are incredibly unsettling, despite not having any jump scares, making you feel like you're internalizing the murders and going insane as opposed to being scared. If you're looking for a disturbing PT-style horror game, then I recommend The Floor is Breathing. Liminal Ranger is a first-person platformer about talking to liminal spaces to solve their problems and gather collectible mementos. You're equipped with 4 different abilities at the start of the game, but lose one ability of your choice every time you beat a level. The pogo stick lets you jump higher and gets a super jump if you bounce again upon landing. The spray bottle kills enemies, the coin teleports you to wherever it lands, and the hammer breaks glass. Upon beating a level, you can buff one of your abilities after you take another one away, like giving the hammer the ability to glide, for example. Around levels, you search for collectibles while making use of your abilities to assist you along the way in well thought out levels. If you're looking for an ability-based platformer, then I recommend Liminal Ranger. Luminescent is a first-person platformer where you explore a huge vertical level by running and jumping to climb to the very top. It's structured a lot like a rage game where you lose lots of progress when you fall. Although each themed area has a floor of its own, so once you make it to a new area, you won't ever lose all of your progress, just a lot depending on where you fall. The controls are ultra tight with both a walk and sprint speed that can be toggled between in midair to give yourself a little more wiggle room for jumps. If you like precision platformers with abstract themes, then I recommend Luminescent. Call to Summon has you use an old flip phone to summon objects by calling them to help you advance through an old complex. After finding a phone in a seemingly abandoned complex, you have to figure out how to escape with it. The phone is able to take pictures of objects in the world, which makes them disappear. They are then added to your inventory where you can call them to spawn in front of you. This is useful for solving puzzles like pressing down a button to open a door or spawning in a certain amount of frogs in a pond. The variety of items you acquire are intuitive to use yet make you feel smart for figuring it out. Yes, I did use a lamp to light up the dark room. If you're looking for a surreal game with a unique item spawning mechanic, then I recommend Call to Summon. Nightmare Superhighway has you discover distorted worlds that slowly crumble at the seams as reality tears itself apart. You spawn into this bright plant-filled location with a giant tree in front of you, so naturally you go to it. Although once inside, you're transported to a much more dim world surrounded by water. There's a couple points of interest here that make you want to explore your surroundings in hopes that you'll find answers. Your curiosity will lead you to a few more worlds like a gas station in the desert or an abandoned mall inside of a pyramid. The locations feel familiar but are twisted in a way that throws it off, but never in a creepy way, just eerily calm. If you're looking for a vibey walking simulator, then I recommend Nightmare Superhighway. Ocean View Mall is a horror game where you escape a seemingly abandoned mall while trying to repair broken relationships. The game blends the objectives with the story as you learn more about Wilson and his strained relationship with his wife and son.
Wilson, hang up. Watch Armin open his gift.
The environments are all very creepy and surreal, blending reality with Wilson's subconscious thoughts. It plays out mostly like an exploration puzzle game as you figure out where to go and how to progress with objects you find. I was genuinely interested in Wilson's backstory, so it was fun to play through the dark recesses of his mind. The environments are intentionally sparse and dark, adding to Wilson's feeling of isolation as he chases money over his family's relationships. If you're looking for an environmental exploration game with an engaging dark story, then I recommend Ocean View Mall. Habitat Infinity is a first-person platformer with parkour elements where you try to reach the top of a procedurally generated apartment complex. You start at the bottom of the tower with tons of abstract-looking platforms put together with no coherent form of level design. That's the beauty of the game though. Figuring out how to progress with your limited moveset is half the challenge, and executing on those plans is the other. Okay. It was sort of like an improvisational puzzle of figuring out where I could get to next with some wall jumps and climbing. Luckily, the game is very forgiving with a generous wall climb ability, and even if you do fall, you usually don't go down too far. I found the game very calming with its relaxing soundtrack and simple textures and geometry adding to the liminal feel. Once you reach the top, you win and can play a new randomized level. If you're looking for a polished first-person platformer with infinite levels to play, then I recommend Habitat Infinity. Backrooms 96 is a first-person horror game where you try to escape the backrooms while searching for 10 VHS tapes as a mysterious entity hunts you down. Navigating the backrooms is intentionally confusing as everything looks the same, making it difficult to know where you've already searched or where you need to go next. The sound design and analog screen effects are super creepy as they hinder what you can see and make the omnipresent entity feel close whenever the environment isn't safely lit. If you're looking for a horror game where you escape the backrooms, then I recommend Backrooms 96. Soda Machine Simulator has you play as a soda supplier who has to do maintenance for soda machines on a strangely empty college campus. You're given tasks to do for the day and have to go around campus to complete them. The soda machine tasks play like mini-games where you catch coins in a bucket or clean the screen, for example. Every day, the atmosphere gets a bit weirder and strange occurrences start happening that make you feel not so safe anymore at your once mundane job. If you're looking for a horror game infused with mini-games, then I recommend Soda Machine Simulator. Those were the top 10 free liminal space Itchio games you didn't know about. I'll have my playlist of free Itchio games you don't know about linked in the description. Thanks for watching, give me money on Patreon, and don't forget to like and subscribe to keep up with this ongoing series.